So now that we've done a basic alignment, now we're going to do some measuring. So we click on our model window to see our alignment that we created from those two diameters. Now we can start measuring. So we're going to go back to the image window. We're just going to measure a series of points. And we're going to start on the front left of this part. And we're just going to measure around this. So we're going to measure a series of points. So we're going to go measure average weak edge. So we click on that icon. And we just click and drag a small line on that surface. And we click OK. And then we're going to continue around that part. We're just going to take a series of points, about 2 per surface on these edges, to create a line. We're going to use these to construct a line. And as I get over to this radius on the edge of the part, to measure that, we're going to go to our feature finder, select the feature finder from the toolbox, and we click on the first edge, and it says arc. If we click again, it'll say circle. We want an arc, so we just click again. We can toggle around that, and we just select 3 points on that radius, and we click OK. Now we're going to go back to our average weak edge because we're going to measure some points on that. And if I don't get close enough to that surface, it's not going to take the point. So I need to be pretty close to that. Just click and drag on there. Click OK. We're going to measure a series of points around here. Now for some small surfaces like this, we can use our feature finder to measure a line. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select the feature finder. I'm going to measure a line. So I click on the surface and I drag it down and it measures a line. And then I click OK. So we're just going to keep going around this part. Now, and I have another radius, so I'm going to click on my feature finder icon and I'm going to measure an arc on that surface. And I click OK. And I'm just going to do this in 2 spots, and I'm going to construct a diameter from that. So I click on the arc again, and I click OK. Go up to this angled surface again. I'm going to select the feature finder, very versatile tool, and I click and drag on there, and I measure that, and I click OK. Now I'm to the top edge of the part. Bring that to the center of my screen. I'm going to select my average weak edge. I'm just going to take a couple points up here, measure the point, click OK, go to the left edge of that part, and I measure another point, I click OK. Now I'm to the radius on the top left of the part. I'm going to select my feature finder and I'm going to measure that as an arc or a radius and click OK. And then I'm going to go back to my average weak edge, and I'm going to click on the edge, click OK, just measuring points, click OK. Now I'm going to go to the model and look at what I did. So there's the outline of my part. So I'm going to fit it to the window. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see the basic outline of my part. Now I'm going to construct some lines to generate the shape of that. So I select the Construct tab, click on the Construct Line, and I'm going to construct a line from the points that I selected on the edges. So I select that point on the left, select the point on the right, and I click OK, and it constructs a line. I'm just going to keep doing that. And if you select that point, it'll go back to that, and that's not what I wanted to do. So you just click OK or cancel. To get out of that, we're going to go back to our model. So I'm going to construct the line. I have to select that every time. So I can select that point, the next point, and I can select again, and I can construct more lines from that. So I click again. I'm going to select that point and that point. Again, we want to follow that concept of front, back, left, right. I'm going to construct another line from here to here. And those are all of the lines that I'm going to construct. Now I'm going to construct a diameter from those two arcs that I measured here. So I select those two, and I want it to be a radius, so I want one radius. From that, and I select composite, and then I click OK, and now I've constructed a radius from that. So now I've measured the outline of the part, so we're getting pretty close to being done. So now I'm going to measure some other features on the part, so I select the image window. I'm going to measure this angled slot in the front. So I want to bring that into view. And a lot of times it's just hunting around for that feature that we want to find. So I'm going to measure this with my feature finder as an arc. Measure that one. I'm going to measure, select again to measure another one. And I'm going to move it up to this other arc. Measure that as an arc. And click OK. And now I'm just going to measure a couple points on the sides of the slot, and I'm going to use the average weak edge, and I can center that about in the middle. I can take one here, click again, take one there, click again, and then I can go to the front of that slot. I'm going to measure a point on the left, select again, point on the right, select again, and we can go back to our model and we can see our slot. I'm going to construct lines from those points that I measured so I can see that slot. So click on my construct tab, construct line, select the front right side of the slot, back right side of the slot, select again, front left, front back, select again. Now I can see the shape of that slot. I'm going to go back to my image window. I'm going to measure those circles in the center of the part. So the circle is too big to fit into there, so I'm going to measure it in 2 halves. I'm going to go back to my feature finder, and I'm just going to measure that as an arc, and you can measure this in 2 or 3 areas. Select again to measure that. Click OK. Now I'm going to measure all those slots, all those diameters around the perimeter of that. So this is a little bit easier. If you double click on the edge, it'll snap the diameter there. I can resize and remeasure. Click again, and I'm going to go clockwise around here. Double click on the edge. Sometimes it doesn't work, so we can cancel this. And then just go back and double click. You have to be kind of quick about it sometimes. Remeasure again. Go to my next diameter. Double click. Alright, doesn't like that. So I'm just going to go back to my feature finder. Doesn't like that. So now I'm just going to click. So I want a circle. Select 3 areas. Remeasure. Click again. Select the 3 points on there. Resize it. Remeasure. Click again. Go to the next circle. Resize it. Remeasure. Click again. Go to my next circle. If you ever lose your spot of where you're at, you can just go back and click on the model. So that's where I'm at, where this blue box is. So I can see what I've done. I can see what I need to do. I can go back to the image and I know I'm good. So I just click on circle, 3 areas, stretch it out, remeasure, click again. And it takes a little bit to get the hang of moving this around and positioning it. Click on the 3 areas of the circle, stretch it out, remeasure, click again, go back to my last circle, resize it, remeasure, click OK. Now I can go to my model and I can see that I've got everything done there. So I'm almost done. I just need to get those 3 slots on the left of the part. So go back to the image. And I'm going to do this a little different way that makes it a little bit easier for me to do. So I'm going to measure with the feature finder, because that has enough surface to measure a line. So I click on that, go again, I'm just going to move around like this, click again. Again, I'm just clicking and dragging on that surface. And I'm just going to go around, select that, click again, select that, click again, select that, click again, select that one, click again. And I don't even really have to move it around every time. As long as it's in view, I can get them all. And now I'm just going to go to the bottom and get the bottoms. And I can go to my model and I can see that I'm all done. I'm going to save my program, so I click on the Save As routine. There's a folder called MACH2615 with the semester and year. So just save your programs there. And those checklists are going to show you how to do that. Always put the date on there. And an underscore with the revision, because we're going to change this possibly. So I'm going to call this revision 1, and then I save it. So I'm going to test this to see how it works. So I'm going to run the routine. In the routine area of the right hand of the window, I click on Run Routine, prompt me to say OK. Again, I need to position that, so I push Enter on the jog box. I can position it and move it however I want. Press Enter on the jog box, and then it's going to go through and measure. Focusing, measure, measure. There we go around the part. And it goes pretty fast, much faster than we can do manually. Measuring all those points, all the diameters. And we're done. Next video will be on reporting results.